be happily accepted to be Emma's godmother 21 years ago. I hadn't quite realised that I was going to be asked to make a speech, but anyway, here I am. And I feel really honoured to be asked and to be here today as your godmother, Emma. It's a lot more nerve-wracking, I have to say, standing up in front of all of you guys than it is the kind of things I do normally. I've even been on TV twice and radio in front of the most horrible chief executives in the world, but I have to say, standing up in front of people you know is a bit more nerve-wracking, but I'll give it my best shot. I've been very grateful in preparing for this speech tonight to the anecdotes and funny stories that many of you have provided. Sorry, Emma, but they've all been snitching on you. In making my own preparations, my thoughts went back to immediately the Saturday night before you were born. We had our usual Saturday night gathering at the Westwood Towers, as we fondly called it in those days. And I think the conversation we overheard between Jonathan and Susie went something like, well, if you're going to have the baby this week, then you better have it at night, because I've got a very busy week ahead of me and I need to be back at work. And of course we were quite shocked to hear this, but not surprised because we knew Jonathan so well. Anyway, good old Susie went into labour at night. Jonathan was able to park his car quite successfully at the hospital. And he was back at work promptly in the morning, on time I believe. So all was happy. So we were very amused to hear that when that actually happened. It's hard to remember back to what the world what was going on in the news, and quite significant events when I looked them up. Maggie Thatcher resigned. Yay or depending on your point of view. The Soviet government relinquished, the Communist Party relinquished power in the Soviet government, and Nelson Mandela was released. Was released that year. He'd been in prison 26 years before. I think the most significant fact that happened in the year that you were born was the World Wide Web was invented, which was probably a good job because I don't know where you'd all be without social networking sites and all of that kind of thing. So, a very good year. Emma, my memories of you as being a child, you were a very sweet child and always quite sensitive, and if we ever had the cause to say no or don't do that, then there were big tears. And they weren't crocodile tears and they weren't manipulative tears. You were genuinely devastated that we'd just reprimanded you. I think things changed quite soon after that, but you were very, very sweet. Like many children, I think the only area of discourse with your parents when you were young was food. And there used to be a battleground over the lovely meals that your mum and dad placed in front of you were going to eat. And oh dear, it was terrible. And this reluctance wasn't kept for your time at home either, because obviously the daughter of two avid restaurant goers, you went to lovely restaurants as a child. There was no chicken nuggets for you, you were going to have the best. And one particular story was when you were on holiday in Scotland and you went to a lovely restaurant with Andrew and Karen, and you travelled a long way to a very lovely restaurant, and you got there and you were greeted with white tablecloths and silver cutlery and the whole malarkey, and a lovely children's menu, and this was produced for you, but you refused to eat it. Can you remember this? She refused to eat this beautiful meal because the hotel was so posh it didn't have tomato ketchup. So Andrew has got a little gift for you tonight. Just in case you should ever need ketchup when you're out. But I gather now that you eat pretty much anything. And I think as one of your friends said, you're not one to miss out on a meal. Okay, next page. My next memory. Where is Eleanor anyway?
No, don't. No,
she was so tough when you were born, Eleanor. She was just over the moon. She really was. She was so happy. I can't remember your exact words, but you said something to the effect that your life was complete now that you've got a little sister.
Aww.
I'm not sure she thought that for every day of the next sort of, 14 years. But anyway, I know two of you love one another dearly and you're very good friends, and I know you will continue to be so as you journey through your lives together. Sisterhood is a very important thing to both of you. Friendship is an important thing to you, Emma, I know, and it's wonderful tonight to see so many of your friends here celebrating this special occasion in your life. As a friend, I know she's fun, caring and loyal, and I know all of your friends have you've got your own funny memories of Emma, but I have been a bit sneaky and got a few memories from, do you know, Harriet in particular has been very helpful in giving me a few memories. So thank you, Harriet. She wrote me a very special email, which was very funny, but very touching as well about your friendship. Once, and that was when they were 4, and it was over a conker. Apparently, Emma stole the conker off Harriet, and an argument ensued. And then Harriet said, "Well, if you want it back, you can have it," and threw it at Emma's head. And two of them ended up in tears. Emma because her head hurt, and Harriet because Emma snitched to her dad that Harriet had thrown the conker at her. And anyway, they recovered from this, and their friendship has continued, I gathered, over the years. Just about. Oh. They've travelled the world together. One piece of advice that Harriet's got for anybody who should be travelling or living with Emma. Are any of your housemates here tonight?
Yes, one is.
One is, right. The advice from Harriet is that just beware that if there's any work to be done, any tidying up or washing up, then Emma conveniently needs to go for a shower at this point. So Harriet, have you got that? I used to go to the toilet when washing needed to be done. Harriet, where are you? You've got a little present another little present for Emma. You need to open this present. Yeah. It's really hard seeing this with the flashing lights. She's got some washing up gloves and a hand scrubber. Alright, okay. Their friendship recovered from the conker incident and the lack of washing up. They went on hockey tour together, and Harriet discovered a lot about they were a well-matched friendship. She realised she was blessed with the organisational skills and common sense, and Emma with the intelligence and the ability to remain calm when they were in a stressful situation. And I think the story that amused me most was Harriet watching Emma try to put a load of bottles into a minibar in their room, and 15 minutes she watched her for, until she explained to her that if they were going to get down to dinner in time, she needed to lie the bottles down and then they would all actually fit in the minibar. Apparently Emma's relaxed attitude on this tour wasn't just to hockey. It's funny, isn't it, that Emma's interest in hockey died when she got back from that particular tour. But she was very relaxed about her packing as well. Harriet was the organised type who had her bag packed every night with her pyjamas, ready and going away clothes and all that kind of stuff. Emma, clothes strewn around the hotel. Harriet went through this once, and then after that she vowed she was never going to go through it again, trying to pack Emma's bag in 5 minutes while the coach was waiting. So she packed it for her every night for 3 weeks, which I'm very impressed by. She packed her own bag, she packed it in the morning on the top, and then went to sleep. That's real friendship. So, being friends with Emma and the Westwoods has introduced many of us to the wonderful world of rhubarb. And this is just another story from Harriet, that when she first attended the rhubarb ball, she made a shocking discovery about Emma. And I didn't know this about you, Emma, but it shocked Harriet to the core. They'd enjoyed their tasty meal, and then dessert was brought. Rhubarb crumble, of course. Emma grabbed the waiter and she said to him, "Bring me the biggest bowl of ice cream you can find and take this away." She turned to her friend and she said, "I bloody hate rhubarb." I didn't know that, Emma. That's shocking. The daughter of the family who grows the best rhubarb in the world. Terrible. Other amusing stories are about your driving, I'm afraid. Directions, your mum and your dad and your friends. The expression was, "God only knows how Emma passed a driving test," which she did. I love the story about her getting lost in Stanley. She dropped a friend off in Stanley and it took her half an hour to get home. Now for those of you who are local, you know it's quite a feat because it's a good 5-minute journey from Stanley to here. Anyway, very logical approach. She just drove around until she saw somewhere she knew, which ended up being the hospital, and then worked it out from there. So it was too late. Apparently the other call that Harriet got, re the driving, was that Emma had driven her mum's 4x4 down a one-way street the wrong way, noticed this fact and then realised that the street was so narrow she couldn't she couldn't even open the doors, let alone do 3-point turns. I'm not quite sure how that one ended, but presumably it got out there without getting arrested, presumably. So I think Harriet has said that she's never actually got in the car with Emma in 4 years, and she gets the bus everywhere when they go somewhere. On a more serious note, we're all very proud of you, Emma, when you were successful in getting your place at Newcastle to study dentistry. And although to some extent following in your mum's footsteps, you've been very determined to do things your own way. I'm not sure Newcastle has yet recovered from Emma arriving, but I know that you're making the most of this special time in your life, living life to the full, as well as doing, so well in your studies. So the practical application of the knowledge you've gained seems to be something that you've really enjoyed. I was particularly amused by one story about the phantom head. For those of us who are not into dentistry, that's about it's an imaginary person's head and you do a bit of work together. Is that right? So the feedback from the supervisor that Emma got was that the work that she'd done on the phantom head was excellent, but that her boobies were in the patient's There was no anaesthetic needed on that occasion. I think many of the other stories for university probably aren't suitable for tonight's audience, but I'm pleased to report that Emma has fulfilled a lifetime ambition of kissing a pirate. Who apparently, she said, is called Johnny, aka Johnny Depp, but Harriet reliably informs me he was called Gareth. Anyway, you've ticked that one off, haven't you?
Yes.
Yeah, good, okay. She would revisit it, she said. I know being born into a farming family is something, Emma, that you're very proud of, and whilst it may have done your time in the pack house, and your recent party in Newcastle involved Emma dressing up as a cow, complete with washing up gloves as others. There are pictures available on Facebook if anybody wishes to see that. I'd also like to make mention of Susie and Jonathan tonight, who've welcomed so many of us here tonight, as you do on many occasions, and whose friendship that we all value so much, as well as that of the wider Westwood and Reed family. You're very special to us all. Having known Susie and Jonathan since the ages of 11 and 15 respectively, I could probably tell a few funny stories about them as well, but I won't. Your secrets are safe with me. No, don't worry, Jonathan, you're okay. Well, for the moment, anyway. But thank you, Susie and Jonathan, for this wonderful evening. You've really pulled the stops out. It's very special, and it's been very enjoyable, hasn't it? So thank you both of you. Okay, no, I'm quite finished. 2 more minutes. But from a personal point of view, I'd just like to say how proud I am of all that you've, don't cry Emma, I'm proud of all that you've achieved, and I know that you will go on to achieve. I'm honoured to be your godmother, and I look forward to many years of friendship to come. You've been a very thoughtful and caring goddaughter during my recent illness, and thank you for keeping in touch. All the little messages you sent me meant a lot to me. Okay? I'm going to close with a small piece of advice, and I'm not one to give or receive advice, but a few words in terms of living your life. It's not a dress rehearsal, and important to live as you intend to. Interestingly enough, these words were used by Harriet to describe her friendship with Emma, and those words are, as you continue your journey, to live, love and laugh. So I'd ask you all to raise your glasses to Emma and wish her a very happy 21st birthday. Right, we can get the dancing now.
Thanks to all my friends for coming. You made it really good, especially to Sean. You made it from a great distance, so I'm really happy you've come. And finally, I'd like to thank my mum and dad for this big party. I know you put a lot of effort into it, and thank you so much. Dad? Come on. Oh, and Harriet, thanks for not pressing me up there.
I kept it clean.
Thank you. Ellie, come on up as well. Come on.
Go on, Ellie. Go on.
Oh gosh. Yeah, thank you for a wonderful party. I love you so much. To all my family out there, my grandparents, my aunties, my uncles, all the different parts of my family, thank you so much. Thank you for all my gifts, jeez. I felt so lucky. Thanks for coming. Enjoy the night. Enjoy the booze.